about to have our Masters picks, which has become a tradition like no other. And Paul Catalina is here at his table. I'm here. And then Emery Winter, golf maven, is to my right. And Rob Bolton, PGA Tour, joins us, who does all of this and does it incredibly. How you been, Rob?
Hey, guys. Happy New Year.
You
Good
too.
to connect with you guys again.
We have not talked to you since July, I guess, with the Open Championship. So it's great to have you on, sir, and we appreciate your time. Is there anything better than Augusta National, the Masters?
First of all, we all went down in flames at the Open Championship, so we all are seeking redemption this week. Mm-hmm. Where else a better place to find it than Augusta National? And you're right. Everything matters this week. Everybody's in love with each other this week. There's no strife in the world because it's the Masters week, and I guarantee you everybody feels this way.
Absolutely,
it should be, right?
Yeah, it is. You know, the weather changes in a nice way. Thank goodness that rain got through Monday, although you never know. All right, Rob. So we did the pull out the piece of paper out of a hat. Paul picked first and got number 1. Emery's 2, you're 3, and I'm stuck at 4, which means I get the 4th and 5th pick. And do you want to say anything before we start picking anybody?
If Rory I'll say one thing. If Rory McIlroy is ever going to win the career Grand Slam, all of the stars are aligned this week for it now. It has not occurred before like this right now. Form, fit, weather, family, it's all aligned. So if he doesn't get it done, it'll be a surprise. How about that?
Well, Lee Trevino was on with us earlier. How about that nugget? He was on with us, and he said that because Rory's putting better, and he saw some things that he did with his putter, and all of the other things, all the scrambled eggs in his head are right now, they seem to be free.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
All right, Paul. That's going to test your allegiance to Rob Bolton and him giving us what he just did.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and take your damn Seminole.
No. I'm not dumb. I'm taking Scotty Scheffler. I mean, he's the number one player.
Hey, I tried.
Yeah. I mean, look, I thought about taking Rory first, but look, Rob, he's the number 1 player in the world. He's on fire. He's the defending champ. I know it's really hard to win this thing once, much less 2 times in a row, but I think I'd be nuts not to take Scotty.
Okay. Well, he'll summarize our picks and break them down and make fun of maybe me or whoever else. All right, Emery, you're number 2.
Ooh, even though this is a competition, and I don't know if Rob is messing with us, I think I might have to go with Roy.
What do you mean might have to go with him?
Well, he wasn't my first pick. I kind of just changed it because what Rob was saying.
Okay, all right. Who would have been your first pick?
I don't want to say.
Okay, that's
amazing that Rory fell you there.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell you what, he really backed into him.
Yeah. Forced him to take Rory. Did he not?
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Okay,
Sucks to be you. Yeah.
Rob, you get the 3rd pick, and then you'll be back here pretty soon with your 2nd pick.
By the way, because one of these 2 guys is going to win, this is a conspiracy that I'm 3rd. I get it. That's cool. I got to go with the number 3 in my power rankings, Colin Morikawa. I know John Rahm is sitting there, but I'm going to stick to the work. It's so close between the rest of the field in this bunch. So Morikawa is my guy. I know you're going to take Rahm and you can have him, but I can't deviate.
Yeah, it just he seems like he's been kind of this AWOL. But I'm going to take 2 picks in a row. My 2 picks are John Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau. Boy, there's not a. Did Rob's microphone go muted or something?
No, they're 4 and 5 on his rankings. Right. I'm looking at them right now. So.
All right, so you don't have to comment. Yeah. That silence is golden. But you're next. You have the number 6 pick overall.
Yeah. So Justin, we're top 5 in my power rankings right now. It's written itself in order too. So Justin Thomas is sitting there for me at 6. However, he's missed the cut at the Masters the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. Because of our format, which I'm assuming is the same, which is one of the toughest games to play because all of the golfers have to make the cut.
Yes.
I'm going to drop down to number 8 with Shane Lowry.
Golly, I was hoping he would. I knew he wouldn't, but I was hoping he would slide along down the road. People forget about him. Okay, Rob's got Morikawa and Lowry. Emery, you're next.
I think I'm going to go with Zalatoris.
All right.
All right. Now I will pick Brooks Koepka.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to take him, and I'm going to take Robert McIntyre.
The lefty.
Based on the advice of Lee Trevino.
Yeah, Lee was talking about lefties who hit a cut.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, Augusta National has rewarded that over time. We've seen multiple left-handed hitters do that there. I will say that it can be overdone. There's evidence to prove what Lee has said. I'm certainly not going to disagree with him, but McIntyre, I wish we had a little more experience. However, in this format, I love him. He's had a couple of strong performances in this event. He's in my power rankings. So, yeah.
All right. So, Emery, your next pick, your third pick.
I'm going to go with Corey Connors.
Seen his name pop up quite a bit as somebody who people need to pay attention to. Rob, it's back to you.
Yeah, strong pick there, Emery. A little bit under the radar, but he's always seems to be under the radar and a really strong record at Augusta National. So again, sticking to the format and the fact that he is still available, even though he should have been probably number 3 or 4 in the power rankings, but because of the format and he's survived in 60 consecutive PGA Tour cuts. It's not like I'm slouching here with Xander Schauffele. Sorry,
How in the world did he fall to the number 11 overall pick? Because I was going to take him at 12. He hasn't. Well, you'll critique it here in just a little bit. So I get back-to-back picks to close it out. I'm going to take Lucas Glover, and I'm going to take Batia.
Okay.
I know. Here's a stat, Rob. 13 of the last 13 winners had gained at least 18 total strokes tee to green in their 4 tournaments prior to the Masters, and he is on that list.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I love both players, especially Glover. Just relative to some of the others on the board surprised me, including Phil Mickelson. Somehow you passed a Mickelson again this year.
Remember, we all have to make the cut. Mickelson, everyone seems to think he's like peeking into this thing, and so does he. Okay, you get the next pick.
This is really, really interesting because I'm looking at another several guys on my board to make the cut, and a guy who's not in my power rankings, but I feel like he deserves to be on my team for this format. It's Ludwig Oberg.
Yeah.
Ludwig Oberg. There it is.
You got him. Very good pick. Runner-up last year and a phenomenal talent. All right, Emery?
I'm going with Sepp Straka.
He's on that list, by the way, of the 18 total strokes the leading up to the 4 tournaments prior to the Masters. And he's also a really good golfer. Paul, you wrap it up.
I will take Tommy Fleetwood.
I like him. Always
There,
have liked
that
him.
was the other pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Paul, you got 2 foreigners.
I was hearing you talk about it and the way like, oh, he plays this well and he doesn't miss. I was like, oh, he's going to take Fleetwood. Now I have to do a whole nother thing, and then you didn't. So
All right, Rob. No Justin Thomas selected. No Mickelson.
Yeah. No Mickelson. No Reed. Yeah. No Spieth. No Cantlay. No Matsuyama. No Hatton. Well, Hatton has burned all of us in the past, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, you know, the thing about Cantlay, it just seems like he's been kind of erratic. And did they put Brooks Koepka behind him in the next group just to piss him off?
See, that's the conspiracy. That's the conspiracy theory that I'm here for.
Yeah.
Good call. I love that.
All right. Break it down. I know I stunned you with Glover and Batia. Just some nuggets, but your Lee Trevino gave us the lefty with Akshay Bhatia. All right, give us your thoughts.
No, I mean, look, you're going to be inspired and influenced by some of the objects nearest in the rearview mirror. You brought up the stat about 18 under and the strokes gained. You brought up what Lee Trevino has said, and he had a pretty good career. So I think I'd listen to him too. Yeah, it's just a different lineup than we'd expect with only 16 golfers. Not hating it, but it could be a real I don't know. It's like a curveball of a lineup in a short league like this. So you never know. Obviously, we all expect our guys to play well, and what happened to the Open Championship burned all of us. Even though Emery had the winner with Schauffele. Paul, your comment about Fleetwood, you're exactly right, man. I mean, I think you know me too well now. It was going to be Fleetwood or Oberg, but I don't expect Fleetwood to maybe finish inside the top 10, and I know that's not what we play for, but we want lowest score. So I'm gonna maybe for my work, it's a reach to go Oberg, but runner up last year. I don't hate it. I'm reaching a little bit. I feel like in a pool of this size, you do need to take some sort of risk, and if he's the risk, I'm okay with that. I mean, if I Schauffele too. I mean, with his health, but again, guys to make the cut and then see what happens on the weekend. Straka, he was the number one in my power rankings for the Players Championship. I was in Ponte Vedra Beach that week, and I got strange looks from everybody when I was there because of that. A lot of funny handshakes and so on and so forth. And he finished tied for 14th. He did okay. He didn't really contend, but he didn't make me look too bad. And obviously, Rory won that in the playoff over J.J. Spawn, again, undrafted in this league. So yeah, I mean, it's what we've learned here. I think if anything, over time, and anybody who's watching and listening and has paid attention to what we've done in the past, we've pretty much been like 95% chalk, and this draft is more like 60% chalk, and I love that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Got a couple other notes. We mentioned Justin Thomas, and I don't even know if I can trust him, although it seemed like he's playing better. J.J. Spawn. Russell Henley, who's had a nice run in the majors the last year. Joaquin Niemann, is he having another big year on the Live Tour like he did last year, or is that kind of slowed down?
No, he's a two-time winner in 5 events on that tour and leads that tour in points right now. So
Okay.
he's doing quite fine. The problem with Niemann, he has never had a real good moment in a major. He's still young, and it'll happen at some point. With Live Golf, I don't want to sound, every time you make a comment about Live Golf for the PGA Tour, it can kind of sound like a knock. But like, I would love to see these guys go one more round. We never look at PGA Tour results after 54 holes. Imagine how many different winners we'd have after 54 holes. Now, granted, the dynamics are different. The field makeup is different. They know they're playing 54 holes on purpose. And Niemann has 2 wins in that context. Good for him, and he deserves the attention. He's number 12 in my power rankings. But it is only 54 holes. So there's a little bit to be desired there in terms of what it means moving forward. But he's not a stranger in the majors. He's just still trying to build something. So any like concern there is just the fact that he hasn't done it yet. And if we went another 2 rounds, no doubt he would have been picked.
All right, 3 names. Jordan Spieth, you brought him up. He seems like he's playing much more consistent. It seems like he has one of those double bogey moments at any time. Victor Hovland won in Tampa, which is a tough course. He's also messing around with his swing all the time. New putter, going back to his old putter. And Cam Smith seems like he's fallen off the map. Those are 3 other names that I had on the side just in case somebody picked them.
It's a good thing that so real quick on each of them, it's a good thing that you're talking about Jordan Spieth's performance, because a year ago at this time, his wrist was a problem, and he talked about it too often, finally got it fixed, and now you're talking about his performance after the wrist surgery. He's had 3 really strong performances, including last week with T12. Played really well in the first round, held it together for T12 the rest of the way. On a course where I would imagine, because of all the outcroppings of the rocks down there in the hill country, that's where the most wrist injuries occur. So the fact that he played there and held it together, and I think that says a lot about where he is mentally more than physically. So good for him. Expect a good week this week. And if he may have been one of my last picks if Oberg wasn't available. If Fleetwood, whatever. But I had him on my short list written down here. Hovland, what a crazy tournament in Tampa. He still has it. I know he could lead this field in greens or regulation, but he might need to, because he's still trying to work out the weaknesses in the short game, which can be exposed. So you're looking like either like a top 8 finish or like a bottom 40 finish for that guy. And then Cam Smith, again, I would like to see more results, more recent results, good results. But here's a guy who's going to turn it on in the majors like Brooks Koepka can, without necessarily all the great results. Tyrrell Hatton can, ditto. So we're not just seeing enough of this. And when we really want to dial it in, get really granular and invest, we need more of that, pure and simple, unless you really want to be a big-time risk taker. And that's certainly the betting markets are out there for you. So I would think of those 3, Spieth is the one in whom I'd expect to finish the best out of the 3.
I mentioned Cantley because of pace of play, and Brooks Koepka gets very antsy. Is he playing well enough to win this thing?
I never rule out Brooks Koepka in any major. That's the thing. He's just that different animal. He's the apex predator of all the golfers. he's the tiger with the bigger chip on his shoulder, but he doesn't have that. I don't know how even. It's so small the difference. He has 5 wins in majors already, but there has been some injury, and I do wonder how much he really should maybe be playing more to get ready for the majors. I do wonder if that's something that he considers, because he's talked about wanting to maybe play a little bit more with the PGA Tour if they can get this thing together.
Yeah.
So that's a peek behind his curtain mentally. It may matter, but once they get inside the ropes on Thursday, all bets are off, and I certainly wouldn't rule him out, no doubt about it.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it always. Rob will put up our results from each round on his Twitter feed. Does an incredible job with the power poll and all.